Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. It is so good to hang out with you today. And today we are deep diving into a product and talking a little bit about skincare marketing, the lies, the BS, and the scams within the skincare industry. Because again, I feel like I've been talking about this a little bit more lately because it just seems like the whole skincare marketing world is getting crazier and wilder. And it's like brands are trying to outdo one another with like the craziest marketing. So what we're talking about today is a product that I think takes the cake for the scammiest marketing product that I've ever seen. What we're talking about is the Auteur, their new Superlative Sculpting Concentrate Serum. So I'm gonna deep dive into this product with you guys today. If you wanna learn the truth and the facts behind it, then stick around, let's get to it. This serum is $435. Yes, I spent $435 to make this video and share with you all the details. And I wanted to kind of test it out myself and just get the whole feeling of it. Let's start out on the Auteur website. And I'm gonna share with you exactly what they say in terms of how they wrote this beautifully marketed BS and what they're claiming here. All right, it says, achieve firmer, sculpted, and lifting skin in an instant with this one-of-a-kind skin tightener, which instantly reinforces skin's contours and definition by smoothing out wrinkles on the spot and blurring the appearance of pores. Transformative care for those seeking immediate structural renewal, this serum-like skin tightening treatment is empowered by Sculpting Complex, a unique synergy of ingredients that reinforces skin's external architecture while internally promoting collagen synthesis for a long-term age-defying action across the face, neck, and décolleté. That sounds amazing, right? It's got this sculpting complex, it's all state-of-the-art, it's got the instant effects and the long-term effects. You're like, okay, maybe this is worth $435. What a line of shit. This sculpting complex, which they do not tell you what this sculpting complex is. So I got the product in the mail. I immediately look at the box, flip it over to the ingredients, and start looking at the ingredients. The first thing that I noticed was that the ingredient deck is very short. There is not a lot of ingredients to this. And automatically, the first thing that caught my eye was that there was like one ingredient that looked actually beneficial in this entire formulation. And that's the acetyl hexapeptide 8, which is a great peptide, but it's at the very bottom of the list. And I can see what the other ingredients are before it. So I know that that peptide is in there at a very low percentage. So it's not doing a whole lot. It's thrown in there to market to you, but it's really not doing a whole lot for your skin. So I go back to the top of the list. I see magnesium aluminum silicate, which is the second ingredient. That's a thickener that's gonna help to give the serum some density. And then the third ingredient is sodium silicate. I was not too familiar with this because I've really never seen it in skincare before. Sodium silicate, automatically I'm like, okay, it's some form of like salt. There's something, some salt molecule in that. So I'm like, that doesn't sound that great for your skin. I don't know about that. Okay, so I'm looking at the other ingredients, and again, it's just all like emulsifiers, basically, right? So I'm like, okay, let's test this product out. Let's figure this out. I've gotten DMs from you guys, to my Instagram and messages like, hey, Brie, what do you think about this product? I hear that it's really great for us older women because it's gonna help tighten and lift our skin and blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, all right, let's figure this out. Let's test this like sculpting complex. So I cleanse my skin for the night. I apply this serum. I apply it all over. It says to, pat into the skin and really focus on anywhere where you have expression lines, like around the eyes or anywhere, you have movement because it's supposed to like tighten and lift and fill in those areas. So I did that, and I also applied it to my neck because I have tech neck lines. I'm almost 46 years old. If anything needs some lifting and tightening, it's my neck. I'm like, all right, let's test this bad boy out. Let's go. So I put it on, and immediately, like not even immediately, I'd say within like a minute and a half, I started getting this really uncomfortable feeling. It was like a tightening, drying feeling. And I literally felt like I was like suffocating in my own skin. It was so bizarre. I was like, this does not feel like this is really good for your skin. That was the first thing that went through my head. I was like, this can't be good. Like, this is a weird feeling, and it felt very, very drying. I called my husband in. I'm like, babe, take some of this and put it around your eyes and let me just see what happens to your eyes, right? He doesn't get Botox, anything like that. I'm like, let me see what happens to around your eyes. He's like, okay, use me as your experiment. Let's go. So he put some on around his eyes. He came back in the room a couple of minutes after applying it, and he's like looking in the mirror. He's like, why do my eyes look so like powdery? Like they had like this like filmy white kind of powdery look to them. I'm like, I don't know what that is, but I'm like, what is going on? This is so weird. So it tells you to wait at least a couple of minutes because you really need to let it sink into your skin before you apply your next products. So by this time I'm like, oh my God, like this feels weird. I don't like it. I need to apply some other products and hopefully this feeling goes away. So I started applying my other serums. I loaded my skin with ectoin and ceramides and hydrating ingredients, which did take away that like intense drying feeling. And I didn't really notice like a whole lot of like anything. Like, I mean, it felt maybe a little tighter, but it didn't, I wasn't like, wow. Even my husband's eyes were just like, okay, big, maybe it filled in a little wrinkles, like, or like a little bit, but we weren't wowed. Okay. So we're both like, what is that ingredient? Like, what is doing that? So I snapped a picture of the ingredients. I emailed my chemist, my amazing cosmetic chemist who I work with on my Trology skincare brand. I emailed him. He's like the biggest wealth of knowledge. Like I can text him, I can email him any question, and he has the most amazing knowledge. Like he has taught me so much. Like I am so lucky to have him like in my back pocket. So I email him. I'm like, what is this? Like, what is doing this? Like, explain this to me. Like, you know, I sent him the website. I sent him the product page so he could read everything. And I'm like, what is this? Like, I can't believe I bought this. I can't believe I spent the money on this, but I just had to figure this out. So I go to bed after, you know, doing my nighttime routine with this as the first product. I wake up in the morning. I'm scrolling through my emails quick, and I see he emailed me like first thing in the morning. He's like, Brie, tell me you did not spend $435 on that product. He's like, call me. Do not put that on your skin. And then I give him a call. So we're on the phone, we're chatting, we're going over everything. He's like, I can't believe you spent $435 on that. He's like, that is insane. He's like, this company is literally like printing money by the amount that they're charging for this scam. So anyway, let's dive into the formulation. Like I said, sodium silicate, that's the third ingredient. That's what he said you want to stay away from. It is a form of salt, and that is why it's so drying. And that's what's giving it your skin this like tightening effect, because it's literally sucking everything out of your skin, drying it, and it does give this like kind of like tightening effect. He's like, but it's terrible for your skin. He said the pH of that ingredient is 11 or higher. And what that means is it's so alkaline on your skin, it's so damaging. It's going to give you a disrupted barrier. It's going to cause irritation and redness and dryness. So when you think you're anti-aging, you're actually speeding up the aging process in your skin. So we're talking about this ingredient on the phone, and he's like, yeah, Brie, this was like an ingredient that was like kind of popular in the 80s because skincare brands were kind of playing around with it to give you that instant effect. And, you know, people didn't understand ingredients back then. They just wanted that instant just like wow effect, right? He's like, so yeah, in the 80s, this was like played around with. He's like, I even had clients in the past who wanted to make a skincare product around this ingredient. And he's like, I had to turn it down. He's like, I won't make that product because of how just bad it is for your skin. It's not doing anything beneficial for your skin. In fact, it's doing more harm to your skin. He's like, I don't want to make products like that. I want to make products that are going to actually benefit the skin, increase skin health, and actually help to, you know, create younger skin, not the opposite. So he was joking. He's like, you know, those like infomercials where you see, I forget the name of that product. It's like $19.99, and it's that time lapse of like that guy's like eyes becoming tighter. He's like, that's literally the same ingredient. That is what this product solely really is. For $435, you can go to that infomercial and spend $19.99 and get the exact same effect and same product. So we're talking about that. He's going over the rest of the ingredients, and here he's like, yeah, like there's nothing in here. There's nothing in there. There's a sprinkle of that acetyl hexapeptide, again, for marketing, but there is no long-term benefits of using that serum, and you're just harming your skin. So it's crazy and mind-blowing to me that It's $435 to do that. So that was the scoop from my chemist. And now he did tell me, he's like, look, he's like, go online, do your research on sodium silicate. You will see, more about it, learn more about it. So of course I did. I love digging into ingredients. And I came across this Chemist chat page where they were talking about this ingredient. The entire chat was basically saying the exact same thing that my chemist says, was that it's terrible for your skin. It's got that high pH. It's going to cause irritated skin the longer you apply this to your skin. But there was one thing that was funny. Well, I shouldn't say funny. It's just very eye-opening that this one chemist in here says. He says, "It never fails to amaze me how uptight and superstitious people can get about completely innocuous things like parabens, and yet they're perfectly happy to put a highly caustic and alkaline product under their eyes, a product which is basically cement minus sand." When you think about that, and you think about, yes, people don't want to put parabens on their skin or this or that, but you're going to apply that ingredient, around your delicate eye or the delicate skin on your neck or on your face, and that's just so bad for you. And people, if you don't know it, you don't realize it, right? Again, marketing. And the reason most people don't know of this ingredient is because it's not used in any products that are trying to give you healthier skin. This is a gimmicky ingredient. And Auteur saying they have this sculpting complex, which again, they don't tell you what that is. They just tell you it forms this skin tightening matrix on the surface of the skin. And they're saying it's a unique synergy of ingredients that reinforces the skin's external architecture. What the F? Gimmicky, marketing BS, and bad for your skin, all for the price of $435. Now, it comes back to the fact of learning ingredients, and I highly suggest you learn ingredients. I sound like a broken record. I've been talking about this nonstop, but it's because it's so important with how crazy marketing is out there and all the BS and all the lies that are being thrown by brands nowadays, because they're all trying to outdo each other with how amazing they sound. You have to learn ingredients. So I suggest do what I did when I started learning about ingredients a long time ago. I've always been really into ingredients. I've always found them fascinating. I've always been really intrigued by, skincare formulations and what makes a formulation really effective. So I've always been really interested in ingredients, but like I said, just formulating my own brand has taken just my knowledge to a whole other level, because, you see how the formulations come together, but you also see the other side that brands that you don't see, right? You see the side of brands with their marketing and how you can break down their formulas, and you really start to see how brands market versus how they formulate, right? So it just opened my eyes to a whole other side of the industry. But if you want to learn ingredients, I definitely suggest that you do what I did when I started learning ingredients, was just, flipping over a box, looking at ingredients, an ingredient deck online, and just copying and pasting it, an ingredient that I wanted to learn more about in a formula, throwing it into Google, and then seeing what it was. Is it something beneficial to your skin? Is that part of the, thickening agent? Is that an emulsifier? You can just start breaking down and learning what things are doing in a formula by doing that. And that's how I started years ago when I really wanted to start learning about formulations and ingredients. But learning ingredients definitely helps you become a better consumer. You don't fall into the marketing traps of all the lies and the BS that get thrown around by people and brands out there. And it just helps you, really pick and find products that truly are going to deliver you the results of what you're looking for. There's a lot of brands out there who spend so much to market, and their products are very subpar, and they're not going to give you the best results. And then there's other brands out there who have great formulations, but they don't spend a ton on marketing, but those products are going to give you actual great results, right? So it's a marketing game out there, and I'm all about the truth, and finding the truth in skincare is a huge passion of mine, because I do think that the skincare world is just becoming really crazy in terms of marketing. And I'm not about the lies. I am here for the truth. And that's just me. I think this wraps up this video. This is not an Auteur bashing video. In fact, if you like their other products, that's great. My chemist does not think that this brand is worth the price point of them by any means, but their other products aren't actually doing damage to your skin. They might be damaging your wallet for what you're getting, but this product is actually going to cause damage to your skin. So that's just a no. And for $435, that's an even bigger no. All right, well, thank you all so much for hanging out and spending a little bit of your day with me. Leave your comments, your questions below. I would love to know your thoughts on this. I will answer any and all questions that you have. I will answer whatever I can. If I don't know an answer, I will ask my chemist because he's amazing and he knows everything. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you want more truth in skincare. I am your girl, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye, guys.